Welcome back to the class, everyone. We are going up against our final opponent this entire month, actually. And this is a really kind of cool match, and it's an important match because, number one, this is going to determine if we're going to come out of this season on a positive note right now. We're currently 6 for 5, which is cool, so we're going to break even no matter what, which is really what I wanted. But I want to do better than break even. I want to be in that positive. And also, if we do hit that positive, we are going to be knocked into the top 1,000, which is better crystals. So that is also on the line. I mean, it's 65 crystals, but you know, it's 65 more than I wouldn't have if I don't get in there. So yeah, we're very, very close to that line. If we can win this one, that should push us over. Also, look, there's my cunt. But yeah, so pretty cool match that we're in here. We'll go ahead and look at our opponent's roster. He is in the championship for a reason. He looks to be a pretty good player. He has, again, we're getting back into that territory where everyone just kind of has everything, and there's really not much of a difference. I will go ahead and bring up our little spreadsheet here, though, just to show everything that he's got. So he has 244 more relic levels than us, which, again, this is kind of scaring me because our next match is probably going to be even worse than this, and our next match will be next month, where we're going to be back in that territory where it's going to be like 400 and 500 more relic levels than us, which is honestly quite painful. But yeah, he's got 200 more than us. His mods are pretty good. I think they're better than all the opponents we faced thus far in this last 2 weeks. But I mean, we still haven't beat. We have 15 more plus 25s. We have a few more plus 15s, and I think he actually does beat in plus 15. Sorry, we have more plus 20s. So decent. I mean, that's barely an advantage. Like, that's pretty darn even. As far as Omicrons go, he does have Star Killer, but he doesn't have Iden. And this is a little weird. Not weird. Maybe just doesn't have put it on yet. But he has a very well-developed Iden team. Like, he has a fully relic, including Iden herself, who's like kind of pay to play right now. All of them at relic, but he doesn't have the Omicron. So we're gonna have to deal with that team regardless. So that's gonna be a little annoying, but let's go ahead and look at the board to see how things are going here. Get back through this. So yeah, this is what the board is going to look like. I did change my defense a little bit up between last round and this round, and I think I regret it after seeing his defense. I don't regret doing it because I always want to try to be prepared for what the enemy has for us. But at the same time, like, yeah, we shouldn't have gone with our gut, I guess, which is a weird thing to say. So what we did was we took out C from our defense. We didn't put C down because I thought I was gonna need C on offense. But the fact that I already see on the front wall they put down JTR with the bros and R2 really makes me think that Ray is not on their defense at all. So I think this is probably going to come down to an efficiency match or a ships match, one of the two, because they only have 2 Galactic Legends currently visible, and we also only set 2 Galactic Legends down. So as long as my counters pay out, I think this is going to be either a ships or an efficiency match. So like I said, we took C out, we put our crappy Treya team back in because, you know, why not? And yeah, we'll see where we get. So this is the typical team we leave here. And then our ships have been staying the same still. We've been going with the pretty much classic FU defense. Hopefully he isn't too prepared for it. I was looking over his history, and he actually sets a pretty FU defense himself. It's Executor, Negotiator, and I don't know if I remember the third. But yeah, we'll see where it gets us. We'll try our bestest. This bottom all we have to take out first. This is going to be Wampa. Yeah, so he has a super fully well-developed Iden team, but no Omicron. So we're still going to have to Wampa that. I was going to originally use Wampa versus his C that he usually leaves in the back, but I mean, I guess we could use GG. I don't know, maybe I rethink my life there. We'll use Iden here despite the failure last round. I think with POW and Scout here, it'll work fine. We're going to have to use Super Jedi here, really no alternative, and then we're going to have to use Bad Batch there. So let's go ahead and get the whacking, guys. And to the whacks we go. So we're going to get started off first off here with our Jedi Master Luke versus their JMK. This is pretty much has to happen immediately, because if this doesn't work, we're screwed. So we don't go first, which is actually kind of uncommon. We've typically been going before most of these JMKs with their Jedi Master Luke. That didn't happen. So this time we made sure to go ahead and use the hand wave on JMK. That slowed him down. The rest of the battle pretty much went as normal, or is going as normal. We get a turn Jedi Revan, swap over to Jedi Knight Luke, and then just keep spamming the lead ability after we get everyone stunned. The stun's also just really important because I don't want I want to reduce their max health by quite a bit. This is going pretty darn well until now. Cat is just almost dead, but they get ult. She gets a little bit more protection up, and then we're just an inch away. We don't have the lead ability to finish her off, and Jolie doesn't exactly do a lot of damage. So this is starting to get out of hand despite our really good start. And of course, you know, GMY always eats it right before we get ult, so he doesn't get the bonuses. But we do get our cooldowns reduced, so we're able to get on top of Cat. We go ahead and target her. We do make sure to stun everyone and reduce their max health so that she's not getting as much bonus protection. And that's pretty much a win. Cat's dead within 2 minutes. Really, if you don't kill her within 2 minutes, then this is probably just a loss. But everything's going okay here. We do decide not to use Jolie's revive at several different moments. Really just trying to get through these kills as best we can. And it's just Mace and Ahsoka now, so it's really not that big of a threat. We get the chance to revive here. We put the protection up onto Jedi Master Luke, and everything here is going pretty well. So I'm number one, I'm glad this worked. Number two, I'm glad this continues to work even with JMKs that are faster. It is probably worth noting as well that their Cat was modded fast, not thick. That does change how this goes a little bit. We probably would have marked their OG Ahsoka had it been faster, but yep, not a whole lot to say. We're able to get Cat out in the very beginning, and that's all that really matters. So finish him off there, guys. Calling JMY. I think we're trying to get banners back. That's what we're trying to do, but it's a kind of fruitless. Yeah, without Hody, you can only do so much. 72 there, that was good. And now Iden has her champ at Redemption for Mon Mothma. So I've already posted the last video from our last stream, and I got multiple people, both in Discord and on the YouTube channel, saying that Biggs comp has been messing them up, either in losing, in timeouts, or near timeouts. So that's really interesting. It seems to be very consistent now, at least from what I've seen, that if you put Biggs in there with undergeared Iden, they'll just lose. And I think this kind of sucks. The solution there is to just take all of your troopers up to R3, which is still probably less than the enemy Mon Mothma team has, but someone made again back in my other video made a good point about like then like the luxury of this team kind of goes away. Like the cool novelty great piece about this is that we're using gear 12s to beat relic characters, and if you're having to just, you know, do a 1-for-1 trade for relics, or at least close to it, you might as well just be putting Iden on defense. I guess that's only applicable if you have other things that can be Wampa, because we personally put a lot of things on defense that can be Wampa just because of the nature of our account. But that fight went good. Went well. We're going up against Iden with our Wampa now, and this, I mean, there's not a lot to say here. The Iden does not have Omicron, I don't think. Did she? Or did she? It was the last one. No, I think this was fully relic and she didn't have it. Anyways, doesn't matter. Omicron or not, they're all pretty low relics, which even if they were high relics, this has produced good success. So we're just playing around with our food right now, trying to figure out if we should hit death. Because realistically, he is not the last trooper you want standing, or besides Iden, obviously. Like he's the most dangerous. Yep, so there's just Iden, and she like clings to life a little bit, but ultimately not going to be a huge deal. Get a Wampa. So I just keep charging up just so we can eventually one-shot her through her revives, which is exactly what happened. So pretty cool there. I believe this is the Qui-Gon Jinn team, which this is a little annoying. Just because they also put down a crew team with Hux, and this is like my go-to counter. So now we have to figure out something else to use against crew, which I guess crew isn't that hard, but kind of annoyed me that we had to use we only have one solid counter for both those teams, or hard counter, we'll put it that way. But yeah, this goes well. I mean, there's GK in here is like, okay, that's fine. I think it's kind of a waste, honestly. Like if you're gonna put Qui-Gon Jinn on defense with Cam and GK, and it's still bad batch, but like that's an issue. Like I've had a little bit of back and forth in the Discord. We have a player in there who really advocates, and there's a lot of validity to it, who advocates for a super fast Jedi Anakin, a few super fast characters on the team, along with Ahsoka. And that actually, like that makes a lot of sense. That'll stop bad batch. But if you're just if you're going to throw Cam and GK on there and not make them very fast, then it's just going to get bad bash. Like, they can be used in many other teams. Like, actually, someone in the stream made a really good point that if they had left some junky GR character and that other team and put GK here, this counter, Grievous, is a lot harder to handle. Also, yeah, we got to the back wall. This was like the only... There were some good teams, but this was the only, like, super good team. So yeah, this goes okay-ish. We weren't able to land a lot of target locks, but B2 got a ton of turns, which was nice. But I mean, the shock on GG isn't great. We have to specifically not heal him because I want his protection to run out so that we can cleanse him. And it's just sitting there. It's just not going down. I want it to go down, but it's not. But yeah, we're doing okay here. Everyone has target lock at this point. We need to target Palp to make sure. Oh, actually, I already had it. So yeah, everyone already had target lock there. Just going at him, trying to get Mara down. She's the most important here. Once she goes down, the turn meter train kind of stops. She keeps going. We finally got her out. We go ahead and get Palp out. I think Visas already burned her revive, so we were comfortable leaving her alive a little bit longer. Lost the target lock there, so that was a bummer. Just go for Star Killer, I guess. We turn back to Visas here to apply the target lock, as per usual. She goes, gets a few turns. Star Killer gets another turn. And then just AoE to finish him off. And then it's just Kanan at this point. Kanan's not doing much. Kanan wasn't doing much the whole time anyways. He was providing good buffs via the Starkiller unique. So yeah, now we have our SLKR versus Lord Vader. And I've been getting tired of this having issues with Faust in there. So we just went all in this time. We just threw crew in there as well. So we go ahead and start with the poke. Because if they do get a fracture, they still have... They still have to go through what's his face, and then we'll also be able to cleanse next turn. So this goes exactly how we wanted it to. They fractured crew. They weren't able to get a bunch of hits off. Paper Zombie is already starting to be Paper Zombie. I think she can probably still take a fracture at this point. But yeah, so we get a stun off on someone who isn't Royal Guard, so we go ahead and target that on Thrawn. Just want him to do less things, and I'm really, really wanting them to kill Watt right now. Really kill whoever before Lord Vader hits his ult, because as soon as he hits his ult, those revives don't come back. And this is actually really nice. So Maul, he takes out both crew and Watt right before the ult. So this is great, because now both of them can be revived. They can both be brought back. So we go ahead and put our stun on Thrawn. I don't want to get... At this point, I don't think we can get fractured. And this is getting kind of sketchy, because our Daka, she's getting like 15, 20 dots at a time, which is not good. We do not want that. So we go ahead and cleanse her instead of going into ult, which is a little bit foreign. Able to pull out the SLKR ult here, and then, I mean, pretty much now it's just a question of, can we beat them in the time? So luckily, Vader threw his Golden Blade on the character that cannot be damaged instead of the Daka, who had like 5 or 6 debuffs on her. Keep healing. I guess we try to see if we can bring back one of the two characters, which they're not Night Sister, so the probability isn't super high, but we go for it just because. Lord Vader goes ahead and gets ult again, and I'm a little weird bringing them back, because if they get perma-killed now, then we don't get them back at all, and we don't get those banners. Which really, that's the only reason, like, sorry, Crew and Watt. The only reason we're looking to get Crew and Watt back at this point is purely for banners. Like, there's no other purpose. They did what they were supposed to do. Luckily, we get Watt back here at the very end, which is kind of cool. Not really enough time to get Crew, but we killed them, so 59, I'll take that. That's pretty cool. This one, okay, so we spent a lot of time deciding if this was the right move or not. So they didn't put Rey down. A lot of times they like to put Rey on defense. So we wanted to get something high banners against Darth Revan. Or not something against Darth Revan. We wanted to counter something with C for high banners. And to be honest, there were a lot of teams without Watt that really weren't 100%. And this is terrible. This is really bad. If you'll notice here, we keep making this giant misplay where, despite shock not stopping protection recovery, we're not using the protection recovery, which is really, like, this is a huge misplay. And I'm almost upset with myself too, because I know that's how that works. We specifically heal characters in the GG versus Starkiller match, knowing that shock can't prevent protection recovery. So that was really dumb. I don't know why we weren't using that there. And as you can see, that's not great. So luckily we are able to smash most of them. We go ahead and throw this out just so we can get the shock out. But at this point, it doesn't matter because we have lost our protection recovery ability. So this is bad. This is really bad. I mean, we're sitting in the yellow here. They have healing immunity and shock. Malik is taking a second to get down. We finally get him down. And one move away, we lose to Darth Drevan. So that was honestly a really, really low for the stream. Really, because it was a misplay. We should have totally just been putting out the protection in the very beginning, and that would not have happened. So that was rather sad. But then, I don't know if you guys saw, we got to take an Embo next, and Embo got to one-shot him, so that was kind of cool. If we did clickbait, that's what our title would be. So this fight, we're taking in Qui-Gon Jinn versus this crew team. Like I said, we typically like to take in Bad Batch. We don't have them, and this is kind of funny. Like, it's fine, but for once, for the first time ever, Qui-Gon Jinn is not the Jedi Knight Anakin show. Like, other characters are doing things. Like, both Mace and Cam are, like, doing very real things in this counter. Like, in fact, I think Cam gets the majority of the kills here. Yeah, he's already at, like, 3 kills. Mace gets to shine quite a bit, too. And yeah, now we're just trying to delay things so that we can maybe get some more health and protection back with shock. So we're trying to specifically use the moves that don't do a lot of damage. But unfortunately, I think we end up turn with Mace here, and Mace just clacks him, unfortunately. So 62 there, I'll take it. It's good enough. We're going to use troopers here just because we can. And this really is what makes that C versus Darth Revan fail hurt even more. Is like we could have just troopered it, but we got greedy and wanted 4 more banners or whatever it was. Oh, we misplayed it. That was super upsetting, especially because this guy only left 2 of his 6 GLs on defense, and we only have 2 GLs on defense. So he has 4 GLs to kill our 2. That's not good. So at this point, I'm pretty sure that the entire match is going to be coming down to either ships or we're just going to lose. Because at this point, efficiency is kind of out the door because we gave up 20 banners for literally no gain. Gonna go take our bounty hunters versus this weird whatchamacallit team. What is the name of that character? Bo-Katan. They had in the back, which that's fine. I mean, it does very, very poorly. The Zamicron, and we got to use Boss Lead. I mean, they just didn't stand a chance. It wasn't even close. So 65 there. We have CLS versus Dash. Also a pretty darn simple match here. We go ahead and make sure to take out Vandor first. I'm not too worried about the rest. That little assist there from Han was very nice. We go ahead and swap stances just so that we can kill them, and then we get rid of their offense up and their crit damage up, so they don't do nearly as much damage with that second hit. And now all our Wookiees are dazed, which sucks, but we're able to get that off of Nubaka, and then Nubaka kind of carries here. Like, Chewbacca being dazed typically is like honestly a loss condition in a lot of battles, but like Nubaka starts to hit pretty darn hard here. And even if he's not hitting hard, the exposures kind of do it for him. So I think we try to drag this out a little bit to try to get more protection back. That's why we didn't use the big hit and just wipe him there, but I mean, it was kind of futile. So now we get into ships. And he's left a pretty good ship defense. He left Negotiator, he left Executor, and he left Empire. I think he left Empire, yeah. So he left the big 3, and those are the same 3 we leave as well. So this is kind of like the closest thing you can get to an FU defense. And this, we're trying to do better than we did last time with this. And our big misplay last round with this was we didn't bring in Ebonhawk, so we weren't able to get rid of the stealth. And it just took too long to do things, and they just killed us. So I think this match will get better as we play it more, but it's still really rusty. You can see that I'm taking probably 45 seconds here to decide to hit Y-Wing. Yeah, that's not great. I think we just end up basing him anyways. I think I wanted to hold the assist just in case. They do get the buff immunity on crew, so that's annoying. We do go ahead, I believe, just remove the taunt now just so it doesn't keep coming back, because he has his next move can use it anyways. Out of his ability blocked, I guess. Go for the stun here in General Anakin. So we pulled out. We were able to pull out on any loyalty by burning things up early, so that was nice. And now, because we held the whatchamacallit, we're able to get him in. And on top of that, we can go ahead and bring in Ebonhawk. And we just basic here. We just basic on General Anakin. It'll hit it twice. It'll probably do the most damage of all the moves. And with him, with him being in yellow and double tapping, that should just kill him. And once we kill him, this match is pretty much done. The Negotiator really struggles to come back without Jedi Anakin. So they're bringing Sarge, and this is... yeah, so then they have this like weird asphyxiation for going after Ebon Hawk, which is kind of nice, I guess. But yeah, I don't know really what our issue is right now. I don't know if we just can't target the... so they dazed us. So that the daze really slows you down, because the First Order, they love turn meter mechanics. Actually, both in ground and in fleet. But yeah, and then Ahsoka comes in, takes out our shuttle. That really hurt, because I needed shuttle to filter a lot of turns to our silencer, and they get rid of him, so that's a bummer. Can't call in silencer to assist there, so that really sucks. We should have just gone in there and tried to kill Sarge. Like, yeah, they start to get into misplays here. We should just try to take out characters, because if we have to, that dodge really hurt too. That dodge sucked. That was terrible. Because if we do have to clean this up with our scraps, we really need as many people to be dead as possible. So we do get rid of Sarge there. That was really nice. They get the daze out again, which just continues to slow us down. We don't have the tank anymore. They hard target our whatchamacallit, and this is... Unfortunately, even after playing the beginning right with Ebon Hawk and whatnot, we're still going to lose this. So I hate Negotiator, guys. I hate him so much. I think if one... Yeah, I don't even think it's close, the amount of times one fleet has kept me from winning or full clearing or whatever. It's always Negotiator. It's almost never been Executor, which I hate it, man. I hate the fleet so much. Anyways, so we're going to go ahead and take our Malevolence versus their Empire. And we've had pretty good success with this. This is typically very messy. But I think at the end of the day, they just don't have... Empire in general doesn't have enough anti-dark side synergy. And what I mean by that is they have all this anti-rebel or anti-Jedi or anti-just light side in general. But if you take a dark side fleet against them, even if they have kind of the right synergy, the dark side really holds up. Because you can see here they had their placement wrong, so they brought in What's-His-Face when they shouldn't have. And now it's just What's-His-Face. It's just the shuttle in there. They go ahead and bring in Interceptor. We take forever to get him down. Despite him, I'm pretty sure he's only like gear 11 or something like that. But he keeps healing, and then our team just isn't doing any damage with the buff immunity. They get to wipe out quite a few of our characters there with the ult, but like we said last match, shuttle is not going to carry here. So we win that one. That one was nice. And now they put down, I didn't mention this yet, but they put down a really interesting Executor comp. This isn't like the weirdest Executor comp in the world. A lot of people run this, but it is the no tank variation. So it's just Xanadu Blood, IG, and then What's-His-Face. And I didn't know if my Rebel burner was going to work against this, like using the burner and then using Rebels. But, you know, I don't have anything else to do, so, or I don't have anything else to try. So this is kind of what we're stuck with. And it seems to go pretty well. We hold the Shield Disruptor because we need that for What's-His-Face. We're not getting assists with the Millennium Falcon here. But still, it's enough. We're able to get Xanadu Blood out, which is great. That's really important to controlling the field, and really controlling the field is how we win this. So luckily they put 3 buffs on Biggs, so he's able to cleanse. That's great. And from here, typically I like to bring in the Phantom and Ghost to just, again, dominate the field. But I'm like pretty sure if we can remove the taunt there, because we don't have Breach, we can just nuke IG. And again, that's what we need to do. So of course, IG dodges, but we get the lucky assist from Millennium Falcon. And now this is looking really good. This is looking super good. They've already lost 2 characters, and again, we're starting to take control. We burn through What's-His-Face's variation of Savior. That's awesome. And I don't use the heal. I maybe should have used it on Cassian. I really don't know. Oh, this was so aggravating. I hit myself in the face during that. We had tenacity down. We had tenacity down on Houndstooth. And he freaking dodges without evasion up the Shield Disruptor. So annoying. Oh, I head hurt for the rest of the night because I facepalmed so hard from that. That was so annoying. It worked out though. We're able to bring in the Phantom and the Ghost here. Target down Slave 1. Just again, as I said like 60 times now, control the fields. And there's really just not a lot they can do. We're definitely going to get to our ult before they are. They don't even have the whatchamacallit up. We just got Shield Disruptor. And I think even out without Shield Disruptor, this still would have just been a slaughter. So we're able to take in everything there. Ultimately ends up dying. And then we go ahead and take in our... whatchamacallit fleet. So we take in our... this is just a burner to make sure that their AoE isn't up. Because, yeah, they burn their AoE first. There it goes. And then the whole point of this entire battle is just to draw out their cooldown so that we can end up going in and taking in our leftover fleet. And just hoping Tarkin's leftover fleet will have enough DPS to be able to take out just those 3 ships. And this is what not having Radis gets me. And this just really sucks. So they all take like 2 turns and they just kill my soldier, which was my damage dealer. So even like none of them were damage dealers, and they just basicked him to death. So that really sucked. So this is mostly futile, but we have to give it a shot. So we're just trying to get kills here, because if we can kill Plo, or we can kill Rex, or we can kill someone, maybe Tarkin's ultimate will just wipe the other 1 or 2 out. Like, that's what we're going for here. But it's really stinking hard. Both of the tanks have a way of taunting, and Plo keeps healing them. So we bring in, I think, Reaper here just to be able to rip off the taunt, and then, again, try to focus down Plo here. So I have to read Reaper's ability because I don't know which one does what. And again, looks like we have a clear shot here. And then they heal him, and then he gets crit immunity, and he loses defense down. And this is, I'm very, very unimpressed with Tarkin. Very, very unimpressed with Tarkin. So they have 3 enemies there. We do the ultimate, and it does literally nothing. Like, doesn't even scratch them. Like, there's only 3 of them, so that should be a pretty concentrated hit. But it wasn't. And then we try to bring in our Jedi Counselor. Pretty much the reason we brought in Jedi Counselor wasn't even just to heal, but I wanted the Lando's Falcon to be the last one, because I wanted him to get the maximum number of turns that he could get. That was really the reason for holding him. So yeah, they don't have a lot of damage, so they're just barely getting through our characters here. But I mean, AoE daze is really stinking annoying. So we do eventually end up getting in Lando's Falcon. Gets to take a bunch of turns. We remove the buffs, and then we try to take up Plo just because he's the weakest. But yeah, by the way, this is every single ship we have in the game right now. Like, we don't have any other options. There is no cleanup fleet after this attempt. So we take out Plo there. That was pretty cool. Go ahead and hit Rex just because he has buffs, and then we try. They use their AoE on us, so that's just 2 of them. So maybe Tarkin's AoE will, kill 1 of them. But we just need to hang in for 1 more turn, which shouldn't be too hard. Our tank is pretty beefy, and he's got whatchamacallit up as well. We use the ult, and it just doesn't do anything. So I'm thinking of maybe swapping in Tarkin and Thrawn for fleet. So that was the end of that match. It ended very poorly. As you guys can see, though, it kind of didn't matter. So like I said, we had 2 critical failures here. We weren't able to get fleet because we didn't have Radis to clean up, because we don't have Radis at all. We got stuck. Not stuck, but we had issues with the Darth Revan. But man, for our 2 critical errors, it looked like he had 7. Again, he had 4 Galactic Legends on offense. Like, I don't know what happened. Yeah, he just failed across the board here. He failed on gas. He failed on Darth Revan. He failed on JMK twice. He didn't even attempt our garbage tray up. He failed on dash. I would say that we didn't do, super great, but all that matters that he did worse. And then he couldn't get through ships either, so we beat him in both. So really awesome win. We did break top 1,000, and the leaderboard, not only did we break top 1,000, but for 3v3, we have a somewhat familiar face within 5 positions of us that we could get matched up with if things fall correctly. And there he is. End all be all. So you heard it here, folks. You heard it here first, folks. I'm coming for you, End all. Stay awesome, guys.